Hi, welcome to Ms. Richardson's U.S. History 5-Minute Lectures. This information will be U.S. Notes 5.5, a shift in the Civil Rights Movement. It includes information aligned with the first section on your unit study guide. Now remember to use your study guide when you're taking notes and help you determine what's important to write down. Pause whenever you need to, make sure you write down any questions you have on topics, and rewatch as often as you need, especially before tests and quizzes. Let's go ahead and get started. You've now learned about some of the early civil rights actions and protests, things like court cases, like Brown versus Board of Education, boycotts, sit-ins, marches, and other non-violent actions that resulted in national legislation and court decisions that changed all of America. But these took time, years even, to gain that change. Not everyone was willing to wait for that, or even thought that the change that was happening was enough change. So other groups felt that equal treatment was impossible when relying on a government and a system that was responsible for their mistreatment for so long. These groups often supported a new idea that was called Black Power. Black Power was an idea. While it means something slightly different depending on the group using it, overall it focuses on racial pride. Some groups desired new, self-sufficient institutions, like government and businesses, to oversee black communities. So they wanted to essentially separate from the existing institutions that they felt were the reason for a lot of their mistreatment. Now others wanted to work within the existing system to promote those same ideas. But the idea of Black Power resonated with a lot of young people during the Civil Rights Movement. This can be seen by looking at both the Nation of Islam and the Black Panthers, two groups that subscribe to the Black Power philosophy. The Nation of Islam was actually created in 1930, long before the widespread civil rights movement took shape. While it began as an Islamic religious movement, it soon shifted under the leadership of this guy called Elijah Muhammad, and it became more of a Black Pride movement. One individual who was attracted to this group was Malcolm Little. Malcolm Little is up there on the top right. Malcolm Little, in 1952, he was in prison when he began to learn about the Nation of Islam and their beliefs, and he joined their membership. So when he got out of prison, he actually was very active. He also changed his name to something you might recognize, Malcolm X. The X symbolized his lost last name because Little was given to his family by white slaveholders. So because of that lost identity, he added the X. Malcolm X became the Nation of Islam spokesperson. His beliefs demonstrated the feelings of many members during the time period. His speech, The Ballot or the Bullet, shows the willingness to use violence to gain equality, a willingness lacking in many other groups of the period. So he's willing to use violence where others are using nonviolence. While Malcolm X exemplified the group while he was a member, in 1964, after he took a trip to Mecca and met other Muslims from around the world, he became disillusioned with the group. He felt they were too violent and aggressive. Because of his change of heart, he was actually assassinated by a fellow black Muslim in 1965. Another group with aggressive, militaristic Black Power ideals was the Black Panthers. They were founded by Huey Newton and Bobby Seale in 1966, and this group appealed to many young African Americans who wanted to fight for change. The original intent of the group was to protect black citizens from mistreatment. So in many cases, African Americans were beaten and abused by whites, including the police. This group actually created armed patrols in their neighborhoods to stop police brutality and to protect their neighbors and friends. They also had social programs for their communities, like breakfast programs for children and health clinics. So these were designed to improve the lives of Black Americans and to help Black communities become more self-sufficient and more successful. Many SNCC members, like Stokely Carmichael, were attracted to the Black Panther Party. Young Black Americans wanted to act. They wanted to improve their lives and their community, and they saw nonviolence as taking too long. So while the Black Panthers gave them this opportunity, they also were known for violent actions and were considered a dangerous organization by the FBI during the time period. While much of the civil rights movement was peaceful, there were instances of violence. That's what we're seeing here, right? However, regardless of the experience of any one individual, many rights were gained by African Americans during this time period. Other groups saw this as success and inspiration for their actions as well. So we'll look at some of the other groups who are not just African Americans in next week's notes. This is the end of notes 5.5, and I'll see you in class.